Just state your name.
How you doing? Greg Giovanetti, Little St. Lawrence. I'm very curious. You let us know a little bit about the energy board on grass.
Speaking in mic, you can't hear you. I'm sorry, buddy.
There you go. All right. You talked about how the energy board was formed and this and that. I know you met with EverWind on August 31st of 2022. September the 1st of 2022, the energy board was formed. How exactly was the energy board formed? Dates? And when did the plan come about for forming of this board?
It was at the St. Gabriel's Hall when we had the Joint Community Council. The joint, like I said, stated before, the Joint Community Council.
What would the date be?
The dates, we haven't got the dates in front of us, because you remember we started at this board, it was like at the Energy Advisory Board formed from the Joint Community Council, so those minutes we can get for you, and that's something else I'd like to tell everybody. We're going to set up a web page to send out all the minutes that we have. Every minute the meeting we have and what to discuss will go on that group page. It'll be for information purposes only. There'll be no comments and questions taken out. It'll be information purposes. So when we find out stuff from EverWind or a mining company or any other one that's looking at to come to the Burin Peninsula, they got to go to our board. That information will be shared on that web page.
Why haven't all the towns on the peninsula had a chance to vote on who they wanted on this board? Because I know you haven't talked to the local service district of Little St. Lawrence. You haven't talked to, and there's more towns that I was advised that you haven't talked to. So how can you say that you talk to everybody when you never actually talk to the local service boards?
Well, just for the record, we sent out information packages that the Energy Board was being formed and invited everybody. And if I'll apologize in advance if we might have missed one or two, but I don't think so.
We sent one or two.
Well, whatever number. Well, we had. We sent out the letters, and like you said, you seen it on Facebook, and that there was, like I said, there was 47 information sessions, and at those 47, I was at 2 representing Energy Board. So yeah, you're probably correct, but like I said, now is another stepping stone. We're a new organization, this part of the Joint Community Council, and we got some learning curves, and we apologize for the learning curves, but we are going to make it better, and this is the first step to let you guys know what we can do for you.
First step.
Yeah, 17 months later, it's a little late.
Well, unfortunately,
with regards to the donations, the fee for to join this energy board, and you stated that any towns that don't donate to this board are not going to be available for any kickbacks. You want to explain all this?
well, the word kickbacks is not the right word to use. There's no such thing as kickbacks.
Whatever. Explain to us why you're leaving certain towns out when you never actually got hold of them towns.
Well, actually, I don't know if you heard earlier that we said that anyone we missed, everybody's welcome now, and nobody's going to be left
17 months later.
17 months later is a bit late for that.
But listen, everybody makes growing pains, so I apologize for that.
Okay. And who did you contact from each town and their names and numbers? You should have that information there. Where is it?
We can get that information. We'll send it out.
We'll want that. Another thing, Mayor Keating.
Pardon?
Mayor Keating, how did your council feel when you told them about this fee and leaving towns out of the energy board? How did your council feel?
I don't understand the question.
What do you mean you don't understand? You are the mayor. I'm looking at the mayor of Marystown.
Yes, sir.
How did your council feel when you told them that there was towns that was going to be left out of this deal because you never contacted them?
Well, technically, as you're saying, Mayor Keating, let me say that.
No, I'm looking at our mayors.
Okay, well,
We elect the mayors right here.
Exactly.
I'm not yelling. I'm
No,
answering your
I'm
question.
telling you. I'm saying to you. I'm asking you a question. Now, I'm asking you as a mayor because that's what ye are.
Yeah.
All right? We did not vote ye into this energy board. The people of the Burin Peninsula did not agree to vote any of ye into this board.
Well,
You were voted in to represent our towns. That's it. Not the whole Burin Peninsula as a whole. We should have a right, the whole peninsula should have a right to vote for who they want in this board.
We appreciate your comments. To give you an answer that the people did vote for this board because they elected myself as mayor, they elected Mr. Murphy as mayor, they elected councillors. So when you vote for us, and
Individual towns. Individual
If
towns.
you want to talk, you can come to the mic after you get identified. Just let me finish, please. Just let me finish. So you did elect us, and we're doing our role to the best of our ability, and we're trying to represent everybody. We're elected officials, and of course everybody's welcome to come in and run for any position in the future. But right now, we don't what the people told us, and they're asking us to do. We're informing our people.
No.
And if your town is getting left out, then maybe we can address that. But right now, the town elected myself as mayor to be a spokesman for them. We decide what roads needs to be done. We decide what culvert got to be in. So that's the responsibility. And if we got to go out to the whole Burin Peninsula for every decision we got to be made for the Burin Peninsula, unfortunately nothing will get done because the time will be too long.
My name is Thomas Keating. No relation to you, of course. But my question is for Shane Carney. He's the mayor of town of Lyme, where I belong to. And I'd like to ask Mr. Carney. He said that he had the full town support in giving this donation, which none of the rest of us knew about this donation going into the board, this $100 donation that he signed a check for. Like there were 7 other council members who signed that check. What did he take it upon himself to sign that check? Right?
Well, I can't speak.
Well, that's what I'm asking him.
No,
I'm not asking you, Mayor Keating. I'm asking Mayor Carney. Because he don't have the backing of his public from his town.
Well, I'll let Shane answer that, but like I said, we've got to give us a minute. He's right here behind me.
Well, Tommy, thanks for your question, everybody. But
Welcome.
all 7 councillors voted to approve the donation to the energy fund.
I see. Well, how come, Mr. Carney? How come, Mr. Carney, none of the rest of us can get any answers from our council meeting? One of our council members just brought it up this morning that, he has all the information. But none of the rest of us got it in the town. So what are you trying to hide? There's something being hidden here from the public. There's definitely something being hidden here from the public. This is the first meeting you called in 17 months for the public. The rest has been to yourselves, making your own decisions, making up your own information. No. You're not being transparent, sir, to your public. You're not being transparent, and that's the problem.
We are being transparent.
How?
We have letters of support from the town council itself.
From the people of the town?
We've had a meeting in our town.
From the people of the town?
We've had a meeting, let me speak. We've had a meeting in our town with EverWind where we had 5 residents show up.
Right.
So that's where your support, that's where you got to come out to.
Okay. Well, why don't you make that a public from like, say, the town site? That you got probably some people blocked from, but they can't get to the meeting either because they can't see it on Facebook, can they? Right?
We put it up, and I apologize if it didn't make Facebook, but anything that we do will be posted on our Facebook page.
Okay, now you're going to use Facebook. Okay? A little too late, Shane. You're a little too late, buddy.
All right, thank you, Mr. Keating. I appreciate it. Is there anybody else? Well, you said just go to the mic, please, and thank you.
Hi, Jim Mulroney, town of Winterland. I came a little early and looked at your charts up there, and obviously numbers don't lie. I represent that gray part there, 60% of the seniors on the Burin Peninsula. Okay, and right now, as far as I know, the seniors makes up the major lineup at the 12-hour waits at the Burin Health Center, correct? That one over there says that. So St. Lawrence is closed, Grand Bank's closed. Now, as far as I can understand, I'm not talking about 15 years down the road, I'll be dead then. I'm talking the interim when I got the lineup at the hospital. Have the board, the government of Newfoundland, or EverWind have a contingency plan in place to cover off the increase in emergencies at Burin Hospital with the increase of employment? Do they have a contingency plan in place for housing where 4 or 5, 1,000 are going to live? I don't know. So I'd ask the board, to ask the government, or to ask EverWind, or whoever got the answers, what their interim plan is for us for the next 5 years. And one other thing. I looked through the boards, all the crowd that you talked to. The largest group on the Burin Peninsula right now is 50 plus, 8,700 plus. And I don't know, maybe you did, you can enlighten me. Has anybody come to the 50-plus group and said, hey, look, this is the pros of the project, this is the cons of the project. Which one do you want? Because we're left out as always.
We all are. We all are.
Great questions. And, like I said earlier, the Joint Community Council got 3 or 4 different arms, and this is one of them. You do have the healthcare, and I'm sure y'all know we had the healthcare rally, and over on the mall parking lot in Marystown, Peninsula Mall, there was over 4,500 people in the pouring rain. And you look up here, most of the faces there, I know mine was, and those MHA Dwars, there are a lot more people on the panel. And thank you to everybody out there that showed up. Because you're right, we got to get a plan in. And this is another reason this board is formed. We got to start asking, after talking to the minister on it, after talking to the premier on it, we know our health care needs a lot of help. We know, but in order to keep the health care, guys, this one over here is self-explanatory. If we don't have the people, we're not going to keep our educational systems, we're not going to keep our health care, we're not going to keep our trade school, we're not going to keep our people. When our people go, like you said, I might be alive another 15 years. I'm in that same grade as I'm with you. I'm the same grade. So we gotta start to prepare today. We gotta learn to walk before we run. This is the first step. And listen, I'm sorry if it didn't come out in all those meetings and those, and like Shane said, we had meetings in Long, we had meetings in Long, we had meetings in St. Lawrence, we had meetings down in Bainhart, we had them in Parker's Cove. We had 47 meetings 42 that we attended, the Energy Board. But now you're all
42 now.
EverWind held these meetings, by the way.
Excuse me?
EverWind held these meetings, not the
Yeah.
Energy Board.
When you're ready, you can come back to.
I'm done with you.
We got 47 meetings that Energy had. There was 5 meetings that carried over Energy had that the Energy Board was to as well. So we didn't, just for the information purpose, this Energy Board had nothing to do with picking who got it. This was a provincial government decision. The Energy Board had no involvement in freezing land for 18 months. We're there trying to help, just what you're saying, protect the environment, help the economy. And listen, we can all nod and we can all agree or disagree, but at the end goal, our end goal to all of us should be to protect our health care, protect our environment, to do economic stability for the Burin Peninsula. That's the goal that everybody in this room is, and that's why we're here as your elected officials. Another year and a half, you can get someone else to try it if you want. We're more than happy to do that, because that's what the opportunity is there for. So if you want to do it, do it. But right now, these are all volunteers who are trying to help everybody. And listen, we can't help it if we're not perfect. We're far from perfect. But you know what? Every day we're getting better. Every day we're learning something.
Volunteers for the board.
And that's all we can tell you. So, and great questions. And we are talking with the minister, we're talking with the government. We need health care.
Well, you got 2 people running from Marystown out in Mayor and Deputy Mayor.
We definitely will. We definitely will.
Can't hear you. Use the mic.
Yeah. He's saying we should pass on the information and go after for the healthcare as well. And this board is, like they said earlier, about energy and stuff. But this board, once again, is a part of the Joint Community Council. And our chair of the Joint Community Council is here in the office. We've been meeting with healthcare. We've been meeting with the crab fishery. We were actually here too, meeting with the offshore cause when the government came. I see a couple of residents that were here when I was here. We didn't know no more about it than the residents knew. We told them, I said, when you get the facts, tell us the facts. So when we get the facts, we'll give you the facts, but we don't have all the facts. We don't have the answers. We know what's projected. The only thing we know is that they told us that it's another 12 to 18 months for the EA get approved. And anybody who was to those 47 meetings can testify what I'm going to say, facts, not lies. If they're not approved in 18 months, sadly for the Burin Peninsula, in my opinion, there'll be no energy wind farm on the Burin Peninsula.
Hopefully no energy board. And hopefully no energy board.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Kyle Drake. I'm from Lyon. Couple of concerns, especially with a big project like this. But before I get into that, Kev is 3.6 kilometers.
Thank you, Shane, for that. Thank you.
The couple of concerns, obviously, with the hospitals. I mean, our population on the Burin Peninsula now is about 16 or 17,000. I don't know if anybody's aware, but they're talking about 4,500 to 5,000 jobs. So if you bump our population up 25%, it's not only our healthcare won't be able to handle it. These types of jobs generally bring in, I'm not going to say all not so great characters, but a lot of not so great characters. did anybody speak to the RCMP to see if they will be, because our population on a temporary basis will increase by potentially 25%? Is the RCMP present, the number of RCMP officers here going to be increased? Is the number of doctors at the hospital going to be increased? Like you said, a lot of senior citizens here right now, do you think they're in support of basically changing their peninsula for 2, 3, 4, 5 years to where when they go to Marystown, they can't get into Sobeys? They come down and they can't get into the bank because it's just too big. This peninsula right now is not built to handle 23,000, 24,000 people anymore. The hours of our businesses are not. You go to Scotiabank, this is one, I worked at West for 10 years. You go to Scotiabank here, this is the only Scotiabank I've ever been to, and all the banks here are the same. I checked because I would have changed. You can't go to them on the weekend, you can't go to them after hours. It's from 4 o'clock, it's all shut down. So, like, it's not like these senior citizens will have time where they can go to these places outside of regular hours, so we'll just go trying to business out. It's going to really change the way of life that they have. I don't know if they would support it. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, it's a tough pill for them as well. They spent their whole life here, getting by. They got to the point now where they're going to be able to retire and enjoy it, and now you're just going to wipe it out over 3-year, 4-year, 5-year construction. And
15 years ago,
I'll
there
let you
were
get that.
2,500 people who came here for the sea roads to be built. Not even Halifax Place.
Guys, let's keep going. Sorry, guys. Let's not have private conversation. We'll go up to the mic. I got some answers for you, but no, good points. Continue on if you till you're finished, and we'll answer your questions.
I don't want to keep going because I'd rather you get to them than just go through 5 or 10 more questions.
Well, I'll answer some
I
of
can
your
get
questions.
back off it.
No, I'll just answer some of your questions. I know you read the charts out here, and I'm glad you said that about the boom of people. In 1986, we had 30,000 people on the Burin Peninsula. How did we deal with it back then when we never had the street lights? We had less roads, we had less, all those things is carved after the situation. So we went from 30,000 down to 90. So we had the hospitals, and we only actually at that time, the Burin Peninsula Hospital wasn't even there then. It was the old cottage hospital out in Burin. So listen, listen, Fort Mac started out with 18,000 people, now it's in the hundreds of
I'll
thousands.
just stop you there quick. At population, but what was the population? What was the percentage of senior citizens who were spending a lot of time in the healthcare industry at that time?
Well, that's a question that I had to get some
There
research
you
on.
go. There you go.
I'll
Do you know the answer?
I don't, but I'm
No, we don't either.
I'm willing to bet my check that it was a lot lower than what it is now.
I'm glad-
Because all the people here now that are senior citizens were the ones who were in their 40s and their 30s at the time. And one family, one couple had 10 kids. So the amount of people, population percentage was, that were in that small, healthy group was huge. Now all of a sudden you're looking at all these unhealthy people who are going into their golden years. They're spending a lot of time at the healthcare. You say, well, yeah, the population's the same. But yeah, but now 70% of it is senior citizens. And that's totally different. You can put the same number of people there. I lived in Fort Mac. There was no old people there. We could have shut down the hospital. We could have had a hospital like Burin had for 100,000 people. There was no people there unhealthy because if they weren't healthy, they weren't working, they weren't there. But these people came here to retire, or they lived here their whole life, and they're looking like, yeah, I mean, like, you can't just compare straight numbers. You have to look at the underlying things, which is the senior citizen.
And we understand that, but we also can't close the door because we're getting old. In order to get young, you've got to develop things for people to come. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I said, we don't have all the answers.
See,
We're trying to get them.
the thing is, all you guys put in 100% support for this project, correct?
At the time, yeah.
Okay.
Up to 2 months. Now, I'll answer your question. We did, because at the time, when we went out, we could only use the information we were given. When you look at this board here, and all this board was there, and he went to their councils, and he put 47 or 42 meetings, whatever it was, and there was no one saying nothing. In the last 2 months, that's when the forefront came. This has been going on, as you just noted, when the gentleman before you knew minutes of meetings back in September 2022. So now, you know what, guys? We are learning. We are trying to change. But we're definitely, and like I said, another year and a half, you can vote me in. But right now, as the mayor of Marystown, I'm not going to close the door and roll up and die because we're getting older. I want to bring in young as well.
The fact of the matter is that all you guys give 100% support, But what were the questions that you asked before you give your support? Did you
Exactly.
ask, well, what was the provincial government going to do to make this place feasible to run that kind of project? Were they going to increase more doctors? Were they going to increase more nurses? Were they going to open up emergency rooms that he shut down over the past 5 to 10 years? Like, I'm not saying I can't support it, but if I was on your board and I had to give it support, it's like, yeah, well, yes, okay, great project. Now, what's that going to do to our healthcare, and what's the government going to do to alleviate that? What's that going to do with the RCMP staff here, and what's the government going to do to alleviate it? And if you don't have the answers, then you just give blind support. Blind support,
right.
anybody can give blind support.
The what ifs and the maybes of the world, we cannot control them. We can only adapt to fix them. And we are talking, this board, and the Joint Community Council is talking with the College of the North Atlantic. We're talking, there's people on the health board on this board here. We are talking to. We have meetings with RCP. The town of Marystown are rallying every month, to meet with the RCP to find out, we get the amount of crimes, breaking and entry, DWIs and stuff like that. They give us reports. And they got a status, the Canadian RCMP, they tells you per capita how many people and how many RCMP. If someone goes off sick, they can't get someone just to jump in the field. The hospitals, we all know the situations with the hospitals. But we got to walk, like I said earlier, before we run. But we are asking those questions, so don't assume we're not asking those questions. And like I said, we never give you all the information because we weren't out there in the Facebook because we didn't think anybody was asking the questions. I used to give like 30 questions a week of my own self, and we answer to the best of our ability. We can't answer the questions for EverWind, but we can answer you what we're doing here. So
I'm not saying you didn't answer the question because I asked the question because you're saying you did ask them. But when someone came back and said, I can't give you that answer, I said, well, I can't give you support. I can't, I'm not going to say I don't deny you support, but I just can't give this project this 100% support like you're all going ahead and saying you're doing.
That's right.
I can't give you 100% support until I get these answers from our government.
But if we don't give somebody a support and give an opportunity to develop the Burin Peninsula, we won't need RCMP, we won't need cops, we won't need hospitals, we won't need schools because there'll be no one here to go to them.
I tell you what, you want to know my honest opinion about this? You want to know my honest opinion about this? And I spoke to people myself, 95% of what's in Marystown, if I drop a briefcase full of money on Ellen's Island, they won't be able to find it. There's guys who never went through Lyme, St. Lawrence, Lambeline, Point May in 25 years of their life living in Marystown. So if I was living in Marystown, would I be able to hand up all their land on a silver platter for wind farms? Absolutely.
No, sir.
I can understand where your point of view is coming from. You've probably never seen it in your life. So yeah, I mean, I can see where it doesn't affect you. Bring all the money in, put the plant in Marystown, put the long-term jobs in Marystown, put all the maintenance in Marystown, and all the windmills will go up on that high country. I know pretty well everyone has a cabin on that high country. There's not a person from Marystown, any of your voters, with a cabin on that high country. They're up on the Cowboy Trail and down in Garnish Pond. None up there whatsoever. So would I be able to do it? Same as yours? Absolutely. I know exactly what you're saying. But how are you expecting all these other communities? How some of you guys from up the shore are supporting, I don't know. But if you look at all those communities up there, I got me that you drove to them 10 times in your life. And if you may have, but 90% of the Marystown have not.
Well,
There's guys who last time we were in line asked, did the road still go down over the hill by the soccer field? That road was moved 45 years ago.
I'd be a nice bit around the place because of his older fortune stuff, but that don't matter. But I'll tell you right now, as the mayor of Marystown, they named up a street the other day, they said they had a water break in there. I didn't know where that was to in Marystown, so I don't know everything. I'll never claim
What to do.
So just letting you know. But I will tell you, everything that comes to the council, and you say it don't matter to the town of Marystown, just to let you know, the danger level, and I don't know the number, so I won't say, but if they're putting a hydrogen ammonia plant in the town of Marystown, it's a very vital part of this project. And they're putting a load-out dock for the ammonia to go overseas in the planning town of Marystown. So yes, that's a wrong state for you to say I don't care, because I care. Because you know what? And I said this many times, and I'll say it again today. Marystown can't survive without Lambeline, Point May, Parks, Cold Rushing. We can't. We're the hub. You come here to do your things. We know we need you. So don't, and you heard me saying, everybody in this room heard me saying this many a times. We're too small to stand alone. If we stand together, we'll survive. We stand apart, we'll suffer and die. Anybody else got any questions? Feel free.
take a few break, I'm from line. If we put all these windmills of our way, perhaps you can't even answer this question. What's going to happen to all our water? Because we see the windmills up there in St. Lawrence, all run out of them. So they necessarily know a windmill. You're talking about 400 or 500 for up on the peninsula. So if all those are leaking oil, it's all going into our water. We got 2 large salmon rivers in line. That water's going into them salmon rivers. Who's going to start doing about that? In the middle of roads, you're going to have to build big pits on every ridge. Is how to get a pit dug and make a road from one ridge to the next for putting windmills in. So we're going to have nothing left up, right? We're going to have destruction. So I know you probably can answer it. I guess it's going to be up to EverWind. But I mean, what are you going to do about our water and our health? Who's going to do anything about that? Because we're not, in 3 years, we wouldn't have a drink of water off our way. We'll have to bottle it and bring it in.
And I'll answer the question to the best of my ability. It's actually up to the provincial government to put those. They got regulators, safeguards put in. So, you know, and I said this many times in public. If the federal government, the provincial government, the companies is not telling us the truth or don't know or not giving us the answer, it's the due diligence of the government. This board is here to help, like you said, to make sure that they don't destroy everything we got. We're not here to support that. We're here to benefit from the Burin Peninsula. And you're right. But all I can tell you, the only thing I know factually is that the answer's got to come from EverWind or the provincial government, not from the Energy Advisory Board.
Well, is there any truth that you're going to put those windmills 14 kilometers from a community? 50 yards. It's only 20 kilometers from line to Garnish. So where are you going to put them in 40 kilometers? Because that's the bottom line is to buy Garnish.
Actually, all I can tell you, after the EA is done and the land is there, because we don't know no more than you do, so I'm so apologize, sir. We don't know where they're going yet. The protection, if they're doing, you see to be past like the one on the Met Towers, they got to do the analysis where the best wind or the continuous wind is. We don't know that answer. There might be 100 up there, there might be, I'm not sure, so that's not our capability to answer that question. All I can tell you is that we don't know, that's a question, that's why we're going to have EverWind come here to answer the hard questions that you got on behalf of the peninsula.
Well, if he comes in, all we're going to have is a destruction zone. A dump. You just want to write it out because there's nothing left up there. And if anyone's smart, you should buy a water truck because you're going to have trucking and water in about 3 years. And they'll be all sell out. So they'll all get rich and trucking and water. If they're smart. A couple young fellas should buy water trucks. Because we're going to need them in 3 years.
First up. First up.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, my question is the salmon farms came here and we were supposed to have the salmon all produced here on the Burin Peninsula, which is now shipped out to the Burin Peninsula and produced other places. How are we going to guarantee we're getting these jobs? Because we were guaranteed from Greg that those jobs were going to come here to the Burin Peninsula, and they're not here. They're not here.
Yeah.
So I'm just afraid there's lots of big companies, but hold those companies. Are you guys going to hold them to it? Whatever they promise us, are you guys going to hold them to it? And can we hold you to it if you are going to be the ones that we got to turn to?
That's one of the better questions I got today. They're all great questions, but I'm going to answer that. That's why this board is here. Part of the reason, we're going to make sure that there's a site-specific agreement put in place. And for most of you people that are in the construction area understand that, but the site agreement means that if you're qualified and you're trained in the field that is hired for the Burin Peninsula for this EverWind or any energy or any mining company comes here, this board is going to make sure that that agreement is put in place, signed by all parties, and as your elected officials, we are going to make sure we hold it. That agreement was never in with Briggs. It was never in with those. That agreement was never put in. So now this board is going to be working on that on your behalf to make sure that qualified people get the first chance. And that's why we're also working with the colleges in North Atlantic to try to get those classes by here. So we've been doing that behind the scenes. So to answer your question, we're going to make an agreement with them, and we're going to hold their feet to it on your behalf for sure.
And are you guys going to make sure that their carbon footprint and what they destroy on us in our ecosystem is kept to a minimum? Because if you're putting up 300 wind turbines, that's almost, they're not all going in one location. So that means this is going to go over the road. So as an ATV owner, I'm not allowed off the trail no more than 4 times when I go do something.
That's right.
So, it's really concerning. And not only that, I'm in tourism. Birds, that's a big thing for me. How are these going to impact the migratory birds? Because, every year we got birds that come and go. There's a lot of things that you guys don't have the answers to. And I understand that, because there's always learning curves. I've started a business myself, and I didn't know all the answers when I started. But before anybody can sign off, we need all the answers. We got to know what's. I don't want to be here, because I know the expectancy is about 20 years for wind turbine. I know it's the damage that they can do. I don't want to be left with a bunch of wind turbines in 30 years' time because EverWind dropped the ball and said, okay, enough's enough, we're done, we're not making money with that, and we're going to lift with cleanup. I don't want to be left. I don't want my kids and my grandkids to be left with something that happened now.
And I agree 100%. We don't want that either. This board is actually going to be one of the people that keep pushing the government not to do that. The minister was on the other day and said he got a plan with these companies. We don't know the plan. The government don't tell us nothing. We're just the municipalities that keep asking the questions like yourself trying to get the answers. We don't know those answers right now. And I don't know the lifespan. I don't know you said 20 years. We don't know that for sure. New technology, we don't know that either. All we know is that we're going to make sure that we ask the questions on behalf of the people of Marystown, Burin Peninsula, and everybody from Point A to Taylorsville. So we will ask those questions, and we will put protections in place that we can as a municipality.
This question was from my daughter. I know you guys can't answer this one, but maybe you can get it to EverWind, and maybe just Ann can email it to me later. My daughter is 13 years old, and she has done a lot of research on this herself, and wind turbines is one of the worst green technology going. You got oil used into it, you've got a bunch of minerals and stuff used into it, it tears up the land to get in to get the wind turbines. My daughter's trying to understand how is this green energy. So if you can get an answer for me.
We'll reach out and get an answer, but no. Well, I will give you one answer. I don't know if you all know what nuclear is, but they cause that green energy as well. And just give us your contact and we'll get it, and we'll get the information. We don't have the answers, but what we're promising you today, we'll get you the answers to the best of our abilities. Yeah, well, if we can get the answer, you'll get the answer. That's why we said people were a little upset that we never had. That's why we're sitting on the page. That's why I have an information session today. We will get you the answers if there's an answer to get you. There's still unknowns in there. But if you look on the map, you look at all the other countries that got windmills, that don't make it right for our neighborhood. But we're going to make sure with this board and your support that we make it right for the Burin Peninsula. And we're going to protect the people, the economy, and mostly the environment. That's our stand on that. Is there anybody else got any questions out there for us today?
Hi, Burin Peninsula from St. Bernard, Jacks Fontaine area. And I just heard one gentleman there say 300 turbines. I heard a lady get up and say 400 turbines. How many turbines is EverWind planning to put on in phase 1? Do you know? Do the board know? How many turbines are coming to our area?
Well, they gave us estimates, and it's all in those. It's on their webpage, so you can go on and look at that. So I won't answer. It's actually on their website because I looked.
Nothing on their webpage.
Yeah, and actually it is because we looked at it. I'll get you the right website so make sure you're on there. But there is certain ones coming. We don't know right now, but it goes back to what I said earlier. It got to do with an economic and environmental impact study. They might say, listen, we're planning on putting 200 in lawn area, for instance, St. Lawrence. They might say 200, they might say 400. We don't know until the environmental impact study is done. But right now, there might be enough sufficient wind to what they need out there. We don't know those answers. Like I said earlier, all we're going to make sure is they can give us the answers. As soon as we get the right answers after environmental impact studies done, you guys will have the answers. As soon as we get them, you get them.
Do you know how many are installed in Nova Scotia at their Point Tuber or QV?
Point Tuber right now.
Do you know how many? Because Marystown is getting a sister to it. So whatever.
No, you got to stop saying Marystown. The Burin Peninsula.
Okay, the Burin Peninsula is going to get the sister to Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
So you should have a fair idea of how many turbines
They're in
are going to be installed, whether they go here, there, wherever. You should have an idea. You should be able to tell us roughly how many are expected, whether they install them or not. What's the max that they're planning on for our area? For the Burin Peninsula.
Once again, you'd have to ask EverWind that, because if I give you a number, it might be the correct number, so I don't want to give you the wrong information. We're here to give you the right information.
And I understand that. I do. I know it's in the early stages. But it's hard to approve, or it's hard to say yes or no to something when we don't know what we're saying yes or no to.
I'm glad you said that. It's hard to say yes, and that's why you elected your officials to make the hard decisions for you. And unfortunately, sometimes we'll make mistakes, but we can't always say no either. But I agree with you, and like I've said many times, and I'll keep repeating myself, we're going to get you the answers, we're going to ask hard questions for you, and you asked us, and we'll get them for you.
And one more question for to ask everyone that you probably can answer now, is that once the initial layout of the Burin Peninsula has been determined by EverWind, when that happens, is it going to be too late for the residents of the Burin Peninsula to come and say, you know what, no, I don't agree with that windmill going there for whatever reason, and it affects them? Is it too late then in the process? So that's a good question to ask them.
That's a great question.
Can we address that?
That's right.
It's a very good question. Very good question.
And I know it's a good
It's never too late, but I'll let you know what they have already done, and we know this for a fact. They're all registered and non-registered cabins. If you go to the EverWind office, the station here in Marystown, tell them your coordinates, they'll put it in, and when they do their mapping for the wind farms, they'll make sure they interferes with no salmon rivers, no trails, no cabins. And then we can only tell you what they told us. Now, if they're telling us wrong, then it's on the provincial government to correct it. But we will ask them the questions. In their presentation, and people are shaking their head, if anybody here has not seen the presentation, when you're leaving, let us know, and we'll send you the whole presentation that we got, that we done our analysis on and made our decision on.
Why don't we already have that?
They gave us.
Why don't we already have that as the people?
Is that something else for the board to take back? Is the 5% that I keep hearing, we're only going to use 5%. I look at the peninsula as a whole, and I see nothing but ducks. Especially in my area down there, there's 17, right from the St. Bernard's, Jack-Fontaine, Baillarge area back, and it was concerning to me, like, are those all ducks where windmills are getting placed? No, I'm just saying it was a concern to me, and that's why I'm asking. Of the 5% that is taken by EverWind to use, right, is that going to be fenced off? Is it going to be considered off limits? Which way are they planning to use that 5% once they have said this is where this windmill's going, that windmill's going? Because from what I see on everything I've researched, it's almost like it's a no-go zone once those windmills, and I don't know how it's going to go for the peninsula, like a lot of us here. We don't
Also
know.
very good question. But I tell you what, like I said, I was at 42, and I see a lot of faces were at these presentations. They said, and we can only tell them what they're saying and what the provincial government and the federal government is telling us. They told us 5%, but going back to the assessment, if there's no wind in that area, or it's not feasible to put the cable in or the piping in, all that is projected. And people say, why did he freeze a whole lot? Well, they got to research where they're going to put it right now. So they don't know, actually, until this 12 to 18 month assessment is reevaluated and stuff, they don't even know if they're coming here. They don't know where they're going to put the wind. They're talking about the Lincoln Lake in Marystown. The only thing I can tell you, as for facts, the town of Marystown did vote for an obsolete water supply in the Marystown area. That's where they're going to get their water supply if and when the project goes ahead. So until the gets the confirmation where everything is going, they'll be only shooting my foot. We don't know, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think everyone knows yet until the evaluation and the environmental impact study is done. So when we get more information, like I said, you'll get the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Dwyer, MHA for Residential West Bellevue. I'm very impressed with the group you've accumulated to your board. I'm just wondering when I'm going to be engaged. I understand from this meeting that you've been meeting for 17 months, and I've never been engaged with your group. So,
Mr. Dwyer, maybe you may not like this statement I'm going to give to you. And I said, we're friends a long time, and I don't wear no colors, no reds, nor blues, or greens in my political career. But if you have not attended one of these information sessions on EverWind.
No.
And you're saying you
You're
didn't
going
know
down the wrong path.
No, I'm not going down the
Yeah,
wrong
you are,
path.
because you were asking me if I went to a public session, the same as everybody else. What I'm asking you is when have I met with the board one-on-one around a board table to understand what the impetus of your group is?
Well, good question. You did not meet with us one-on-one yet. You did not.
Right.
But
You're in place 17 months.
You knew the Energy Board was on the go, because at those sessions, we announced that the Energy Board, there was a representative of the Burin Peninsula Energy Advisory Board. So when did you reach out to us to have the meeting? The paintbrush goes up and down.
So if you're asking questions, let somebody answer. I would suggest that if you're representing everybody on the Burin Peninsula, it would be your job as a board to engage the two MHAs that represent everybody.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
And let me say, as an MHA for our district, maybe you should be more informed with your residents as well. Thank you.
So I would say this as the last piece of my coming to the mic is that has anybody around the board table on the board brought up the fact that we should engage our MHAs?
Well,
Anybody?
We did talk to one of the MHAs, and I'm sorry that you didn't feel like you were invited, but going forward, you'll be engaged quite a lot. We hope to get your support too on that.
I have no problem supporting everybody on the Burin Peninsula and this new industry, but like I said, I'm meeting with the companies and all that kind of stuff. We have a new alliance down in the Arnold's Cove area for that area, no different than you're setting up a board here. I work very closely with them to make sure that everything that's engaged with the communities is making sure that it's like I represent everybody, so I'm not here just to represent the town that I represent or anything like that. I represent everybody. So what I'm saying is that sometimes it's nice to have that person that has no, let's say, represents everybody to be sitting around the table to be engaged, that can bring things forward, that has a voice in the House of Assembly, that can bring things forward on our behalf.
That's right.
Not just the board's behalf. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that if we're going to look at the Burin Peninsula as one community, then let's do that, and let's be open, transparent, and engaging. Thank you.
Thank you, MHA Board.
One more quick stuff. You brought up the potholes and our CMP, but has anybody taken consideration how our roads and our bridges and infrastructure are going to handle this? Because right now we're already down Cannon Bridge. So we
I know it quite well.
So we already know we've got issues, and a lot of the other bridges are showing a lot of distress. So with more of this equipment coming in now to do this, say if they do get into the case. Now they might need to get there, so we don't know. But if they do get in, have you guys talked to the government how to try to make sure that the infrastructure for our roads and bridges are going to be all up to par, and that they're not going to get more damaged and worse than they already are? Because I mean, what we're driving on now is not getting that control. So I wouldn't want to see us with worse roads, because I mean, we all know that if you put heavy equipment and stuff over the roads multiple times with heavy weights, it's going to just destroy the roads and bridges.
Look what just happened from St. Lawrence to
wonder,
Burin.
have you guys thought about that as well when it comes to?
Actually, that's a very, very good question, because we actually, we're in the same boat, but that's a preventative affairs thing that we are going to be talking about, and we're very engulfed with it, because I'm dealing with the Canyon Bridge and when a road passes now, and I agree with you, because the mine in St. Lawrence, and just to let you know, came through the Marystown and Winterland and St. Lawrence, came all down to Big Salmon everywhere, and we see what they done to the roads. And we're actually talking at our council meeting the other day about that as well. So yeah, all those things are coming slowly. We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the questions. That's why this thing is going to be put up for comment stuff. We want your questions. None of your questions are bad questions. They're all good questions. And we're really going to take your questions to heart, and we're going to bring them forward to MHA Dwyer, MHA Paul Poig, and the minister and the premier. And we are going to do that for you.
You're going to do it now.
We don't want the roads no worse either. The town of Marystown, just for example, we just spent $2.3 million on roads this year. We don't want them tore up either, because you know what? He just said the taxpayers are getting older. The burden of taxes can't be on the plate people all the time because of abuse by a few. So you're right, we are going to ask that question. Thank you, good question.
You're the few that's abused.
Go ahead, Mike.
Excuse me. My name is Leonard Pittman. Anybody who knows me. My I'm a previous councillor with the town of Marystown. I served 8 years with the town of Marystown. Never served with either one of the gentlemen that are here, so I have nothing, I can't say what these gentlemen are, but I have served with a number of the people on this board. And I can certainly say that I believe, personally, that we are in really good hands with the gentlemen that are serving. I've been a volunteer for like 40 years. I run my own business in Marystown for the last 25 years, and I know there were some questions with regards to banks being open and stuff. Well, everything here, including the hospital, is shut down, not shut down, but minimized as much as they can for the simple fact that the population is not here for them to be open. Businesses is not open at certain hours because we're not going to be open if we can't afford to pay people. We're not going to get customers. So that's the way things work. The economy got to grow for our children and our grandchildren. Now, we got to depend on the people that we elected to make sure everything is done safe and fair. So I just like to thank these people for stepping forward.
Hello there, my name is Tom Floyd. I'm from Grand Bank. I look at the environmental part of this situation. I hear a lot about hospitals and doctors and everything, but windmill and also telecommunications, because the windmills generate electronic field. You got a signal come from Marystown to Grand Bank by an antenna for your cell phone. Them turbines, whether it's high in the sky, they just drop the signal to your cell phone. And behind that, you've got the generators. It's like grounds. They got to be grounded underground. There got to be a ground somewhere for the generators. So they put the generators underground. Now they call it waste energy. Goes underground. This waste energy emits little frequencies. And then what happens? The breeding areas like the parishes that breed, snipes, the birds don't breed. Right. So eventually you end up with no wildlife, and there where you used to be a good parish ground one time, that's gone. The bird's not there no more. And also the freaks they were talking about with the EMI, they call it electromagnetic interference. That's for the sits here. And I was also going to bring up that the people living within a kilometer and a half, everybody, some people are susceptible to this, the noise and the electrical frequency come from the machine. And they get what they call, I got it here on my phone. Give me a second, I'll bring it up. And they say here, look, the people who live near turbines, let me give it up a small rating here. People who live near wind turbines complain of symptoms that include some combination of the following difficulties: sleeping, fatigue, depression, irritability, aggressiveness, cognitive dysfunction, chest and pain pressure, headaches, joint pain, skin irritation, nausea, dizziness, tendonitis, and stress. And I hear people talk about hospitals and all this stuff, but really doesn't focus on what we want to be focused on. We need to look at all these things, because we got underground peninsula now. This phone here is much the same as walkie-talkie. When you go out of range, perhaps 10 miles to Grand Bank, you lose your signal. You go more to Marystown, you pass along by the point over there where the bluff, Northwest Bluff. You lose your signal there. So now you get, I don't know where I got my figure from, but I heard it from 685 windmills put up. So when you get all this planning together, any signals that travel in a straight line on land, or most signals, are going to be interfered by the wind generation. So somebody's got to get together with the cell phone companies, TV, whatever transmitting by land signals from ear to ear. And they got to make it a plan so that when all this is in place, we're not looking at a
Looks pretty red.
Cell phone there with
Didn't like to answer any questions.
They're going around with a satellite point of power. Satellite works fine. It comes down the street. Well, you don't interfere with the windmill because it couldn't come down from the sky. you don't get your signal. How many people ever went to country with their cell phone and phone home? I do. I love that, my cell phone, I mean. Who wants to go in the country and get in there? And not only that, but people can go in there, some people, they look like it, that's only just 2 people. And going around them areas where they're too. And they can get disoriented.
Getting tired now.
And not know where they're to. If they go into a place that they've been going for years and get disoriented by the electrical frequency from these machines. So eventually,
Energy Board, I'm just
that's my opinion now, we're going to see that old area, I don't know, and I could be wrong, I think we're going to see that area because of the health issues and different stuff like that. We're going to see it closed off, and we're not going to have that access to the areas.
And there's good points, and I appreciate what you said, but everybody here in this room knows lives on the Burin Peninsula. The town of Burin and Marystown have been talking with cell companies. Right now, I'm sure everybody in this room can nod their head. In the last 3 years, our cell service has gone terrible. There's more blackout spots now, and there's no windmills. And we're as the town of Burin and Marystown and the region is trying to get some more boosters, cell towers, or whatever. We're going to work on that. That's a part of development. And I did like what you said. That you go into country now and you use your GPSs and stuff and you get out. And that's part of what we call development of the world. Because you know what? 25 years ago, we didn't go into country with a cell phone. We went in and the old timers knew to follow the sun. It's called progress and prosperity coming to Peninsula. And that's very good points. We don't know those answers, and we will try to get those answers. There's experts in the government and environmental departments who are going to be supposed to get those answers for us. But that question you just asked there is going to be a question that we're going to ask for you. But we already asked a lot of these questions. And unfortunately, this new website and these information sessions are going to give you more information. Because now we're going to talk to you. We're not going to be answering individuals back and forth on Facebook on our own private pages and stuff. We're not going to be, listen, everybody knows in the last couple of weeks there's been a lot of stuff on Facebook. We don't know the answers. That's why we didn't give you answers. And that's why we're not giving you answers here today. But we will promise you that we're going to get EverWind to come out and have the same kind of meeting here. And we hope that we get bigger crowd than this. Perhaps we might have to have it in the arena. I don't know. We might need a bigger room. Now there's 200 people here. So those questions will be answered, but it can't be answered by us.
I understand that, sir. My point of campaign to you guys up there is when this planning is done, so that your antennas ain't got to be addressed. You've got to have areas that are going to be left over for birds to go and breed in. Every area account not going to be able to have a turbine onto it. If you do, we're not going to have any wildlife for the going out and wind. Unless we get a little, what they call it, then they use on the TV for flying around and get dog chasing.
Drone.
Yeah, drone, yeah. And so, I mean, I'm 64 now, and I'm probably not going to be doing my parish job. I've been playing Canada for 3 years, but I still like to have the choice to go in wherever I want to go up and hunt. I always done it.
You and all of us both. We want the hunting to stay. We want the salmon fishing to stay. We want our environment to be in a good standing, and we want our economy in a good standing. So we're listening to you guys.
I'm not against this project, so just all I'm saying is this stuff needs to. Not like a swimming pool. Learn to jump off the dive and go out and we're in there. This stuff got to be took and done right. So that when it's all finished, you got your water, you got your power, you got your money. Everybody shut their thinking there's money.
Exactly.
Yeah, money.
And that's another reason we explained earlier. That's what we're for. Now listen, we all appreciate everything you're doing. We are you. We work for you, and I tell that to everybody. We work for you till the next election, and you can probably hire another leader. That's up to you guys. But those points and those seminars and those sessions we're having here will give us more knowledge because there's engineers here, there's power company guys here, there's business people on this board. We don't know everything, so this kind of information that you asked us to get the questions and answers to, that's what we're going to do for everybody on the Burin Peninsula.
Yeah, I know I've been working in engineering. I just retired. I worked at it for 46 years. Oh, I know I'm not an expert at it, but I got enough experience to know that there's even the windmill turning in the air, blade pushing the wind, creates electricity. All this stuff interferes with frequency waves, people trying to communicate through the air. And then and like I said, the underground groundworks. Oh, there's a place for birds breeding, like I said before. All this stuff has to be taken into consideration. And we like to say, if you're going to put under here and under, where's the birds going to breed to? They're not going to breed there because the noise and the electricity won't let them, the noise is going to keep them away, and the electricity keeps them sterile, so they won't breed.
That's right.
And until the studies are done and this environmental impact studies done, we can't answer the question because we don't know. But I know that you look around and we're going to have to start wrapping up here, so I hope you get another question or two in. But we will get you the answers, and there's people way more educated and trained in those fields to get us those answers. But you elected us to get those answers for you, and that's what we're going to do. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need a complete package. We don't need just go and play hockey, just a goalie.
And that's
right.
We're not, and I agree with you 100%. We're not going to jump out the diveboard if there's no water in it. And we're not going to say no to something if we don't know all the no's and yeses to the questions.
We want we want everybody included. I mean, I like hunting, I like fishing, like this guy here, but I like to see where they prosper too. I mean, I'm not a fellow that's going to say, well, you go start this, I'm all right over here. I'm retired, I got my pension, I don't care, it won't be you, but I'm not like that, right? So, well, we need, everybody needs to be considered honors and stuff like that.
We appreciate it.
But anyway, I don't believe it, I think that's my money, Ross. So
no, great point, great point.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll have one more question, and we'll just do a closing, and then we'll move on. Hope that we... Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Ken Barron from Marystown, business owner here in Marystown, or Bjorn, rentals here in Marystown. I would understand Van St. Lawrence and everybody else's concern. By keeping an open mind of what everybody is planning on doing, is going green, what we need to do in the world, right? Very important. Producing power for a country that needs power, very important. That's going green. Anything that you do green, that closes up the holes in the atmosphere. That's what it's all about. So whether it's not 100% green, it's still trying to do stuff right. So keep an open mind in what we're giving up to the advantages that we're going to get on the Burin Peninsula. Thanks.
Thank you. So guys,
Okay, guys, I'm going to end this here now because I don't want to listen to more of his bullshit. Have a good day.
Feel free to reach out. Apparently, you already posted our numbers on.